그럼 뭐해 No way 배그로 시작한 날 향한 마음이 왜 이제
What is good, yo? This is JV here for K-Vibes, and I'm back here with another album review. Now, this one has kind of been a long time coming. BTS has a new album out. Wings' second full-length studio album release. I have a long history with BTS, which I'll get into that. But yeah, I've been working on this review since it dropped. Sorry about the lateness of it, but again, it's a pretty long album, and I wanted to get kind of, intimate with the album, listen to it a lot, get a clear understanding of my thoughts on the album, because I want it to be as comprehensive as possible. This is the first time I've showcased anything BTS related on this channel, and I'll get into that why. So before I get into the review itself, I think it's important for me to kind of detail my past with BTS. They debuted, back in 2013, and I gotta say that they are the first group that I got into from the rip. When I started listening to K-pop in 2013, pretty much all the groups I was listening to were relatively solidified. I mean, of course, you had your Big Bang, your SHINee, Girls' Generation, 2 p.m. rather. But BTS, fresh new group in the summer, and they had a hip-hop edge to it. I was coming from hip-hop into K-pop, so seeing a group that kind of straddled that line was really, really dope and refreshing for me. So I was super into them. I bought shirts, I bought every album. I was an OG ARMY. People don't know that about me, about how much I really, really loved BTS. And I basically continued my stand-them. I was definitely a hardcore ARMY up until, Dark and Wild came out, with Danger and all that. Really loved all those Single School Love Affair and all that crap. And then after that point, I kind of fell off the kind of stand bandwagon kind of thing for a number of reasons. They obviously switched up their sound right there, went for a more kind of like mature pop appeal. Their vocals got stronger, and also kind of my taste, I feel like, kind of matured past that point into different groups. I got heavier into VIX and stuff like that. So we kind of naturally went our separate ways in terms of that, and that's obviously when they picked up a whole bunch of steam in terms of the ARMY kind of exploding in size and BTS exploding in popularity. So, at that point, I just wasn't really into BTS, and all the releases that they were putting out, none of which were bad. I always spoke the praises of how talented they are of a group, but they're not necessarily my cup of tea any longer. And so we get into this album, and I wrote on Twitter when this album dropped, I'm hoping that this is the album that can get me back into BTS. And a number of people who listened to it were like, this is it, this is what you wanted. And after listening to this album a number of times, I gotta say, absolutely, this is definitely the best, if not one of the best, K-pop releases, like full-length, fleshed out project of this year by far. I just think the vocal performances is crazy. It's crazy how much they've matured vocally, not even just from when I used to listen to them, but even from their last release. Now keep in mind, just because I wasn't a huge BTS fan for the past few years or so, I've definitely kept up with all the releases. I've listened to Everything I Need You, Run, all that stuff. So I'm definitely familiar with their contemporary releases, and I gotta say that in my opinion, this album is leaps and bounds ahead of anything they've ever done before. I think this album is better than the stuff I used to even like, because even though I was a fan of that sound, I can acknowledge that they've grown worlds beyond that kind of stuff anymore. So not like I want them to go back to that sound at all. You know what I'm talking about, their debut stuff. They did it with No More Dream, We Are Bulletproof, No, all that stuff. So let's just get into the album. If you're not familiar with how I do my album reviews, I go track by track, give you guys my quick thoughts, and then at the end give you guys my thoughts on the project as a whole. Cool thing about this album is that they have their group tracks, but the entire mid section of the album from track 3 to 9 are all solos, which is super, super dope. I thought that was perfect for a person like me trying to get back into the group or refamiliarizing myself with the group, so I can basically see the strong suits of every single member. So that's really dope, and it kind of showed me, hey, look at, this is where this person's at, this is where this person's at. And precursor ahead, back when I was an ARMY, I was a Rap Monster stan, so just in case you guys have a question about who I biased, Rap Monster. First one, we got Intro, Boy Meets Evil. Thought this was really, really dope, climaxed perfectly, loved the instrumental to this, loved the vocal performance. Definitely caught my surprise off the rip. I'm like, uh-oh, they're going in a bit of a different direction. Definitely got that pop feel that they've been doing for the past few releases. However, this is a whole different kind of BTS vibe that they're going for. It's mature, it's in your face, and then that perfectly segues into the next track, Blood, Sweat, and Tears, the main single for this album. And I gotta say, I love this song. Probably one of my favorite BTS songs ever. Again, they're not necessarily reinventing the wheel per se with this song, but it has a zest to it. It has that kind of reggaeton influence there on the instrumental. Vocally, there's some dope ad-libs and stuff going on there. The visual and the music video was beautiful. So yeah, I got into a discussion on Twitter on about this song and how again, it's not crazy anything that no one's ever done before, but again, it has a zestiness and a vibe to it that I haven't seen BTS do, and frankly I haven't seen K-pop do very well. So yeah, man, that was a really, really dope track. See myself revisiting that over and over again. Loved the performance of all the members on that. And so we get into the solo pieces, and it starts out with Begin. Definitely one of my favorite solo tracks. Now, I have on my computer here a reference to know who did it, so I can give credit to each member whose song this is. So we got the Jungkook solo over here. Not a member that I was super knowledgeable about even back when I was into BTS, but I can tell from then to now how much he's matured. Yeah, man, this song is incredible. Love the beat to it. The switch up on the chorus area, fantastic, man. This is definitely, I don't know if this is my favorite of the solos, but it's definitely one of the ones that I revisit the most. Loved that. Jungkook absolutely killed it. And that goes into the Jimin solo, Lie. Dope beat on this one. Love the production on it. It's super deep. It's wavy. It swells at a certain point. I thought that was a fantastic, transition from Begin into Stigma with V. Again, these songs are just showing me and demonstrating to me how much this group has advanced past where I thought they were at, to be quite honest. This is the first song, the album that I've jumped into comprehensively, probably since Dark and Wild. So I gotta say that I thought, these solos, these first few solos, I'm like, holy crap, they're doing something different this particular time around. Love the beat switch ups. And then it brings us into song 6, First Love. Of course, this is the Suga joint. Now, I want to speak on this one. A lot of people were asking me, Suga dropped his mixtape album thing, whatever he dropped, not too long ago, and he's promoting that, and a lot of people were asking my thoughts about that. What do you think about Suga's thing? And I said pretty much the same thing to everybody. I thought this was a great move for him to make, and for Big Hit and BTS to make, to demonstrate his seriousness as a musician, his lyrical talent. I thought it was a great move for them to make, and a great demonstration of his abilities. But I said again that a lot of those songs were not necessarily my cup of tea. Some of the more lyrical joints I thought were interesting to have the lyric sheet there and kind of go line by line with, and see the depth and emotion behind some of the stuff there. But again, it wasn't a project I saw myself revisiting so much. But then I got to the song First Love, and this is one of the songs I anticipated the most, because I was like, I want to see what Suga does on this particular solo. And this song is definitely, in my opinion, one of the most intriguing joints on the entire project. The way the instrumental kind of slowly builds up until just completely exploding. I love the minimalistic nature of the instrumental. You don't have your straight like boom bap percussion kind of typical rap beat. It's orchestral. It's piano. I thought it was just a fantastic move for him to make, and he's just absolutely snapping in terms of the bars. So love that. In my opinion, this is one of the best demonstrations of Suga's ability that I've ever seen, even with the album. You know what I mean? That would have been a great addition to the project, in my opinion. And then it goes into song 7, Reflection. And I gotta be honest with you guys on these next few songs. But I'll take it song by song. Reflection, Rap Monster's joint. I was not feeling it at first, and again, you guys know how big of a fan I am of Rap Monster. I've listened to all his material, even his BTS stuff. I loved his mixtape, that he put out. I thought that was really cool, the RM joint that he did. Even his collaborative joints like Warren G and stuff. Like, I'm a huge Rap Monster fan, and so when I heard this, it just completely caught me off guard. I was like, oh, he's going for something more melodic this time, and definitely it was a grower for me. I listened to it multiple times, and then finally it clicked, and I'm like, I see what he's going for, and then eventually I came to really enjoy when the percussion kicks in, and I actually really enjoyed his melodic delivery on this particular track. Again, not necessarily what I expected from Rap Monster, but that's why I like it. This album is not what I expected, and that's why it surpassed my expectations so far. So and then we have song 8, Mama, J-Hope. Shout out to this song, man. Again, another grower. The first time I heard it, I was like, nope, don't like it, didn't like it at all. But then over time, I was like, oh, this has got a nice little, retro feel to it. And eventually, this is definitely one of my favorite songs now. And it's not one of the cases of you listen to something till you like it. No, not at all. It was, I'm going to listen to it until I understand it. And then finally, boom, clicked. And I was like, yo, this joint, this is dope. And it's not what I expected from J-Hope. Yeah, Mama, I was like, this can go multiple ways, I was like, what, is he going the EXO kind of way? But no, it was kind of like, ode to the mother thing. I thought that was a really dope touch. And then lastly, we have Awake, the Jin solo, and really loved this one. It was super refreshing. Dude came back with the ballad, man. He had to come with the ballad joint, and that was one thing I was like, the first listen through the album, I was like, yo, this is actually, pretty energetic, dope, deep production on this. I wonder if they're gonna, dabble in any ballads per se. And yeah, dude came through with Awake. Love the production on this. Love the melody that he uses on this, man. Jin's an incredible vocalist. And again, additional to the rap line of BTS, they did a fantastic job. But I want to give credit to the vocalists in BTS and how great they really are right now, man. It's just, this album reminded me why the ARMY is as big as it is and why BTS is as popular as they are. To me, this album demonstrates that it's not all hype, you know what I mean? These aren't some boys that are, got right place, right time, right look, and they're not that talented. MC-wise, I always said, yes, they're not the godsend in terms of lyricism. I've always said that they're like, I'm not taking them and comparing them to Tiger JK in terms of lyrical ability. But I gotta say that in the pop industry, man, they're killing it, man. They're bringing a level of artistry that I haven't seen before. And then next is a song that a lot of people have been asking me about, BTS Cypher 4. What do I think about it? And it all stems on how you kind of approach the song. If you approach BTS Cypher 4 like a song, it's fantastic. I love it. I got it on my phone. That joint is that bumps in a whip. Like I'm driving, I got that bumping, like the bass cranked up, and I'm just cruising. That joint goes hard. I love BTS Cypher 4. But as a cypher, and as somebody who traditionally listens to a lot of hip-hop and actually listens to a lot of cyphers, BET Cypher, all this stuff with MCs kind of together, I've reacted to a whole bunch of cyphers on this channel. It's not your traditional cypher, and it's not even the traditional kind of BTS cypher that we've seen from them on albums before. They're kind of going a different, direction this particular time. It's produced and it's clean. They got some, auto-tuned vocals, and again, not in a detrimental way, but add a little level of polish to the vocals. Yeah, man, thought it was a dope song though. Loved it. Definitely the song that I listened to the most out of all this project, as you guys, I would imagine, expect. And then we got Am I Wrong? Like this joint, this is definitely where it kind of transitions. Oops, I skipped Lost. My bad. Let me go back to Lost. First group chat, the first group track to be on the album, and it's definitely in line with a lot of the releases, and that's these next subsequent tracks, with exception for BTS Cypher 4, Lost, Am I Wrong, 21st Century Girls, all the way into, and I'm looking at the translation here because it's in Hangul, is what, 2, 3, Still Wishing There Will Be Better Days. What a title. These next few tracks definitely in line with what I've come to expect from BTS these days. Great, pop tracks. Definitely, if it was just these songs, maybe like you got the intro, none of the singles, Blood, Sweat, and Tears maybe, and then the rest of these joints, I maybe not would have liked this album as much, because these are definitely what I kind of expected. When I was listening to it the first time, I was like, alright, yeah, this is more in line with what I expected from this album. So we got those next few tracks. Nothing crazy in terms of my thoughts for these next few tracks. Like them all. Not mind blown particularly. And then we have the last track, the interlude, Wings. Interesting to end off an album on an interlude. I don't know. They always do weird things. But yeah, man, great segue from the intro to start it and where they're ending. Definitely a song in and of itself, and definitely a very BTS move to have an interlude end it off, but have it like a full song. Like, this is not an outro. This is like a full fleshed out song. Love the vocals and group participation. And again, seeing these solo tracks from each of the members gave me a newfound appreciation for all of them. So, my thoughts on the album as a whole. In my opinion, BTS's best album that they've released, best body of work that they've released. I don't necessarily think that Blood, Sweat, and Tears is probably the best single they've ever released. It's probably one of my favorite. But yeah, man, I think it's a great showing from them. Would I say I'm an ARMY again? No, I wouldn't say that. But I would definitely say that I'm definitely gonna approach BTS projects with a newfound like level of appreciation, of respect, of looking to be a little bit more comprehensive and thorough of my listening, because they're showing that they're growing with each release. You know what I mean? They're not stagnant. They haven't stagnated yet, and they easily could, because when you want to talk groups at the top of the not food chain, the top of the industry, the top of their class, BTS is killing it right now. And they could have easily just rest on their laurels, sit back, drop, these mindless mini albums, whatever. But I see that BTS doesn't do that. They release very careful, thought out, thoroughly produced albums. And I gotta respect it, man. So shout out to BTS. They absolutely killed this one. They snapped on this one. I want to know what your thoughts are. So in the comment section below, let me know what your thoughts are on the album. What's your favorite song? What do you think about the solos? Who do you think you did the best? Let me know what your thoughts are. Till next time, this is JV here. I love you guys. Bye.